This program is to tell a story through dance about the first Japanese female student to go to the U.S. Umeko Tsuda was born in 1864, the second daughter of a samurai, Sen Tsuda. He was disappointed to have another daughter and did not come back home for a couple of days. The mother, Hatsu, named Ume after an early blooming winter plum flower. The time was the Edo period, ruled by the Tokugawa shogunate for 250 years. Surrounded by sea, the island, Japan, maintained a ban on commerce with foreign countries, except for China and Holland, at only one port. No one could visit or leave Japan for any reason. In this feudalistic society, men had all the power. Women confined to the home took a back seat to men, the husband and the father. Women did not have opportunities to receive an inheritance or an education. But in 1853, the sudden visit of the American Commodore Perry with 4 warships asking Japan to change its seclusion policy created chaos. In 1868, the Meiji Restoration occurred. The new government, headed by the Meiji Emperor, was established. The government was confronted with advanced Western civilization. It strove to catch up with the West by dispatching students and delegates. These stories, of course, all involve men. 3 years after the new government's establishment in 1871, the government, in its effort to modernize the nation, sent 5 girls aged 6 to 14 to America. They were accompanied by a delegate. The girls were to be trained to bring education and cultivation to their fellow countrywomen. Umeko was the youngest. Some Japanese were still superstitious regarding Americans. The Americans were vampires because they consumed bloody red wine. In dispatching the girls, there were outcries that their parents must be cruel to send them overseas. Two of the older girls returned to Japan within a year, suffering from ill health, homesickness, and culture shock. The trio, Umeko, Shigeko, and Sutematsu, remained for the next 11 years on the East Coast. Ume was in the care of a Georgetown couple, Charles and Adeline Lanman. They did not have their own child, so Umeko became their beloved daughter. Charles, a secretary to the Japanese ambassador, gave Umeko the highest possible cultural education. In 1872, Umeko entered Stevenson Seminary in Washington, D.C. For 3 years, she received premium awards, medals, certificates of merit, and mentions for good conduct and general commendations. She, at the age of 9, questioned the award for good conduct.
I think it's strange to receive an award for good conduct, since it is associated with social rank and upbringing.
She realized that people could be praised for their achievement based on their own effort. She thus determined it was the American founder's spirit. A newspaper described this Japanese girl as having a live Yankee element in an Oriental mind. Right after Japan permitted Christianity in 1873, Ume was spontaneously baptized. Christianity supported her throughout her life. Happy years passed. In 1882, Ume graduated from the Archer Institute and came back to Japan with the dream of creating a school for women.
Tomorrow turns a new page in my life. May it be a good one.
Returning to Japan at the age of 17, Umeko found herself an alien. While male students sent abroad received positions from the government, women did not. She was overly educated for the purposes of a country which had taken a reactionary turn. She had also forgotten Japanese. She now had to confront Japanese women's low status and consciousness.
Oh, women have the hardest part of life to bear, in more ways than one. Even in America, I often wished I were a man. Oh, how much more so in Japan. Poor, poor women. How I long to do something to better your position. Yet, why should I, when they are so well satisfied and do not seem to know any better?
The Japanese women's situation, especially at that time, was so bad. And when she came back, she was so surprised, women were not the same human beings in this country. So the only things to change the situation is to give women economical independence. So for that, education, right? And the only thing she can do is teaching English. And if ladies can speak English perfectly, they can find jobs without any problem, because at that time Japan tried to find out so many things from abroad, but they didn't have enough interpreters who really can work, one thing. And English is getting to be a required subject.
Average Japanese girls at the time got married by 18. Sutematsu, who shared the dream of creating a school together with Umeko, gave up the dream and got married with a government official. Umeko felt alone.
But I will not marry just for the sake of getting married, as most Japanese do.
3 years passed. Umeko finally got a stable English teaching position at Pires School, but English was just etiquette in this school. Umeko wished to create a school for Japanese women to be independent thinkers through English. In order to bring higher education to women, she herself wanted to further her education. Between 1889 and 1892, given paid leave of 3 years to study in America again, Ume entered Bryn Mawr College, founded by Martha Carey Thomas, to study biology. She met Anna Hartshorn in Bryn Mawr and Mrs. Mary Morris, a philanthropist in Pennsylvania. T.H. Morgan, who later received the Nobel Prize, asked her to remain with his research. But she turned it down to pursue her dream of founding a school in Japan. In 1898, invited by English philanthropists, Ume sailed to the U.S. and England, saw Florence Nightingale and the Archbishop of York. Also, Helen Keller inspired her.
I had many advantages, but I must do something to pass them on to others. I do long for more faith and better life, and especially that my heart may be full of love and sympathy that outflows to those around me who need it. More love, more sympathy to others. I need. I know it.
1800, Umeko established her school, Joshi Eigaku Juku, Tsuda's school with 10 students, supported by the fund of her American friends. Alice Bacon, the host sister of Sutematsu and Anna Hartshorn, came to assist on a volunteer basis.
We have only asked for a few earnest students who are willing to work and desirous to develop and improve themselves, not only to gain knowledge, but strength of mind and character. We did not care for numbers, believing that true education must deal with the individual and individual needs, and this can best be done when the groups are small.
Aim of this college is to educate ladies to work in the society to make the world a better place to live. And that is the purpose of higher education for women. And maybe that's my interpretation, but I think Umeko Tsuda made this school to educate such ladies. I think so. I hope so. Only through education, women can get a better position in the society. And now, when last year, 2 years ago, let's see, 20,000 Tsuda girls graduated. Only 20,000.
Like since 1900.
Since
Since 1900.
There are people who are working in a very important positions. Tsuda girls are students all their lives. Always studying.
Yeah, that's
in
true.
one way or other. And the other day, I met a lady who is 100 years old. And she said, "Oh, I became 100 years old, so I stopped teaching English. Then I start learning piano again." Curiosity to make yourself bigger and better all their lives. Very, very interesting. I did some survey of 700 graduates. Very, very interesting. Many, and I got just only 40% back, but most of the people work all their lives. And the people who have jobs know how to place too. And they are very much interested in doing some volunteer works if they have time. Umeko Tsuda spirit still somewhere around here. And yeah, that's what I feel. She asked students, "Do you know why you are getting higher education here at Tsuda College? You are very picked people." At that time, there weren't so many women who studied. So you were selected. Means you really work hard to make this world better.
Umeko wished to realize the true coexistence of the two sexes, male and female.
Women's intellectual deficiencies can and should be made up by better education, and as a result, her position improved and her influence extended in many directions.
After World War II, in 1946, women were finally given suffrage. In 1985, a law was established on the securing of equal opportunity and treatment between men and women in employment. For 100 years, Tsuda College has produced many women who are prominent in the political, business, and educational fields. The ex-education minister Ryoko Akamatsu, the director of NEC Software Fusako Utsumi, a journalist Yumiko Matsumoto, and others. However, inequality still exists for women. According to a gender empowerment measure, Japan was 44th out of 66 countries in 2003.
In this country, still women and men are not equal. You know, I'm a board member of youth hostel, and very few women. I'm a board member of National Recreation Association of Japan. Very few women. Maybe if there are 5, maybe 2, 3 women. Very unbalanced all over the places. You know? So still women and men are not equal in this country. But I think as human beings, we are equal. Women themselves should have that kind of way of thinking. Women can do to change this country. Even now, the way of working in this country is not right, you know. Work too much.
Work too much.
And if the women go into the factories and many different places and they get higher position, and then they can, if they have strong enough to change the situation and working system, they can do. But men don't know anything better. You know? This is it. But I think the way the Japanese men work for their companies, just like you know, there is a feudal lord, and all the warriors listen to the feudal lord.
I know that.
Doesn't make much difference, you know.
Yeah.
I think only women can change this Japan. So for that, we really study hard, and we really have to someone to be respected. Then people will listen to you. So I still feel there is a raison d'etre of women's college. And I think Tsuda College is doing a very good job.
As someone who has been involved with this concert certainly as a composer for the Umeko piece, I am very excited about this project that's coming up. I say project and not just concert because the concert itself has, for me, very wide-ranging meaning and implication that is worldwide. I mean, I think that you, MICHIYO Sato, are making a very important contribution to changing not only the state of women in Japan or women, but of the whole balance between the female and the masculine, which is one of our great problems at this time, and it certainly has been a big problem in the 20th century. All of these wars and everything are not started by women, they're started by men, and we've got to fix this. So by calling attention to the plight of women, and not just the plight of women, but the wonderful strides that have been made by women, like Umeko Tsuda, Isadora Duncan, women worldwide, the silk workers themselves. They have made an enormous contribution to our the growth of a real culture, world culture. The wonderful choreography that you have done for both of these pieces is, of course, your contribution and your way of contributing. Your statement is in dance, my statement is in music, but we're both working very much to make a better world, and it's really by no means a women's issue, Japanese issue, a dance issue, a music issue. It's about saving the world culture right now, and I'm very pleased to be involved with this project.